All right. Before we get to our 10-minute speaker this evening, I'd like to recognize the Northside Events and Social Club here. Let's give them a hand. They have an excellent facility here. They keep us fed. They have a bartender back there. Let's give him a hand. I know some people would be in a really bad place if they had to do this sober, so. See, what is life if you can't laugh at things? I don't know how to laugh at myself. There you go. Awesome. So next up, I would like to introduce our 10-minute speaker, who is also our presenting sponsor this evening. And so before you leave tonight, after you hear her presentation, if you love it, you can meet her at the back of the room. She has books here for you to buy and take home with you. They make great Christmas gifts for anyone in your life who is trying to build themselves professionally. And I'm sure Sandi could tell us a lot of other good applications that book would make an excellent gift. So all the way from California, let's give a huge hand to the badass business coach, Sandi Ballard.
I am on. Ooh, all right. I even put real shoes on for y'all tonight. Just for you, Chris. All right. Oh, okay. Let's get started here. You ready? Fuck! Right? We have all thought it, said it, especially when you're in the car in traffic, right? You picked the wrong lane. How many of you have picked the wrong grocery line? It's shorter, but it's not freaking faster, is it? I, much like the other two, I was not born with patience at all. If any of my friends who are here and know me, you know I am the most impatient person. So when Ryan told me the theme, I cracked up. I'm like, I'm the perfect person because I literally have learned this year patience. You know, it's no one likes, does anyone here like to wait in line? How about flying these days? I regularly, well, this time when I flew, I actually said to the flight attendant, wow, that actually didn't suck. And I was literally the last row, but I had a 3-hour layover in Denver, and so I just sat there and I practiced my patience. I did a little meditation, like, yeah, it was like, just breathe through it, because you cannot get people from California to pick it up to a Midwestern pace. They do not understand what that means. You know, like you said, the highway, grocery line, any kind of line. This year has been, you know, like more emotionally, for me, an amazing opportunity to learn patience. When I told a friend of mine that I was speaking on patience, she was like, well, with all your health issues this year, this is a good topic. I mean, I am a very, is anyone here taking the DISC assessment? I am a high D. I'm a DI split. I'm a general that likes to have fun. There you go, right? I want it now. And I'm also an electrical engineer's daughter. I'm a recovering perfectionist. But it's on time, it's now. And then we talked about a little bit about it. It's like, do you want it now or do you really need it now? So that's where you really, really have to look inside and say, do I just want it or do I need it now? Justifying the why behind that, right? So, you know, I know little about patience until this year. Anyone here? I think we raised hands earlier about patience. What helps anyone? Shout it out. Anything besides meditation? Any other tips on how to get out of a trigger beer? There you go. Right. There you go. Well, music, that's awesome. That's, yeah. I'm massage. There you go, from Chelsea. I am a very big screamo music, so if I'm very, like, I need to bring myself down, I actually listen to Rob Zombie. But where does impatience come from? Frustration, stress, and fear. So like you said, removing yourself from that situation. I am such a big faker. I used impatience to protect myself, protect my vulnerability. Why? There's no emotions. I'm an electrical engineer's daughter. I'm literally not human. I think somebody asked if there was human. This. But it was like I could not show myself. When I actually did cry when my best friend passed away, my current man Candy, he looked at me and he's like, literally, I've never seen you cry. And I was a big hot mess. So I used impatience because I was scared. I used it to protect my vulnerability. I used it to hide my perfectionism, flipping on other people. And I used it to hide my disappointment in myself and in others. A lot of people. So it was like, I was a good faker. So what does being impatient do to you? It steals your mental capacity to be a good human, right? It steals your power. It takes away your power to not just being a good human, but to make logical decisions, to be present, as Kelly said, for whoever is in front of you. And it's exhausting. I realized I was just like, think about it, being on the road, being in the grocery line, and you're all like, and you're ruminating. I love that word. My attorney client used that word, and I'm like, I'm totally keeping that word in my back pocket. You think about it, you're like, you're so bent out of shape from whatever just happened. It is mentally and physically exhausting. And it kind of makes you look like a crazy person sometimes, right? Because think about a time when you actually saw someone being impatient. I always picture like Bill Burr. He's made gazillions of dollars being a very impatient man, comedian. So I don't know, hopefully you guys know who he is. So this year, the year I learned how to have patience was from being a patient. This is my second surgery, but the opening line, spelled with 10 U's, was exactly what I texted my best friend last Friday when I found out I have to have 3 bones removed from my left wrist the week before Christmas. This whole process, it's probably started years ago, but in March, I started learning patience because I went to the first doctor appointment. Then I had another doctor appointment. It took since March until now to have 2 of my surgeries. Then my knees decided to join the party. I've had my left knee drained 3 times with over 20 ounces each time of fluid, 3 cortisone shots. Then my right knee, last Friday, I had my stitches out, and I had my right knee, 21 ounces and a cortisone shot in that knee. Why does it take so long to get answers from doctors? Why did it take 3.5 weeks to get my MRI results? And there's that fine line of persistence and impatience. And this year, I really learned, somehow, I was granted patience. Somehow I learned to be persistent without being a bitch. Because when you cross that line, there were a couple times where I just hung up the phone because I knew that was a trigger. I was like, I'm going there, just put the phone down. You're not getting the answers you want. So that's like the biggest thing for me. We talked a lot about triggers and getting yourself out of that. Oh, and then we moved from where we were in Huntington Beach, California to Dana Point, which is further south, to lessen the stress, to be near my man Candy, my fiance's office. He's 5-minute drive instead of sometimes an hour and 5-minute drive. We moved in only to have a slab leak and have the first 3 weeks we lived there, construction, in and out, in and out, in and out. This was the first week. I'm glad I'm here because I don't have to deal with contractors. I said, no offense, Chris. I said, literally, we had 10 holes throughout the condo. I was like, practicing it. So here we did a move to reduce stress and help both of us with our patients, and it flipped on us, and it just, what can you do? Like you've heard, sometimes it's out of your control. right? Luckily, the slab leak didn't come out of our pocket, so that was good. So what can patience do for you? It can help you, and it taught me how to be vulnerable. It's okay. I have cried more this year than I ever have in my 54 years. I've cried out of frustration, stress, and fear. I cried after the doctor told me I was going to have 3 bones removed because of the stress and the frustration. I'm standing in front of you telling you, I've cried, and that is not very badass, is it, right? But the impatience was stealing my badassness, and it was, it was interrupting my life and my business. So it helped me be vulnerable. It helped me learn how to be humble, and it helped me go with the flow. So the things I learned I can't control everything. Shit really does happen for a reason, and learning to be patient is hard. So if there's anything I can help you learn today is learn how to be patient, because it will help you strengthen and improve your badassness. So thank you very much. Boom.